up on. We had a lot to catch up
I know.
on. It's been a long weekend. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Sorry we're late. We're like 2 minutes late. Sorry. We had a lot to catch up on.
Man, we were just... We were doing
it was like, it's so,
guys.
we did it as quickly and as condensed as possible. We had a lot of family and like personal stuff to catch up on.
So apologies for our tardiness, but we are here and we've got tons and tons of news to cover, not the least of which are some great Saki clips. I know, you guys are gonna get mad about the Saki, but I promise that you'll like these because they're just, wow. All right, so I'm back home and happy to have slept in my own bed last night. That was all nice. Had a great vacation. Thanks to everybody that's been asking about it. I appreciate it. It was really fun. And I'm glad to be back to our normal time. Also, really glad to tell you guys that there is still the 50% off offer on Genucel's Ultra Retinol Cream. This is the cream that's so super soft and luxurious, and it's filled with hyaluronic, all about hyaluronic acid and how good it is for your skin, right? You hear it?
Yes, we do. Good. We do hear that. It's good for your skin. It is.
It's super
as
good
is
for your
retinol.
Skin.
As is retinol.
So the Ultra Retinol Cream, fabulous stuff. I've been using it now for a few weeks and I just absolutely love the way it feels. And so right now, again, 50% off if you go to genucel.com/chicks. Okay. You use code chicks. You'll also get the immediate effects for under your eyes for absolutely free with your order. You'll get free shipping and returns. The results are guaranteed. Do this for yourself. Treat yourself for Easter, you guys. genucel.com/chicks.
And don't forget, you guys, today we're talking to Dave Rubin. We're talking to him today. It'll be out tomorrow. That's our deep dive podcast. We're super excited. We love talking to Dave Rubin, and we hope you guys enjoy it too. And it'll be out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Our deep dive podcast. You can get them. You can get our podcast wherever awesome podcasts are found. And if you miss it, put it in your pocket. Listen to it later. There. Our deep dive podcast. Look for it.
Check it out. Okay, so I know last week, one of the days that we were on with everybody last week, we did talk about, and we showed a clip of Jen Psaki and Peter Jussie having a bit of a back and forth about the migrants, the illegal migrants getting free phones so that they can, smartphones no less, so that they can be tracked by whoever, by nobody's going to track them. Let's face it. We know that they're not going to be tracked, but at least they want to give the appearance that they're going to be tracked. So on Friday afternoon, Peter Jussie there was a little bit more that happened with this particular conversation line. But I will tell you that after I play the 30 some seconds of this, because it goes on a little bit and you don't need to see the whole thing. But there is a moment that Peter Jussie misses such a huge opportunity. I was really disappointed in him, even though I liked this whole line of questioning. He kind of messed up, and you'll see what I'm talking about right now.
Topic. Following up on the smartphones that are being given to border crossers with technology so they can be tracked or so they can check in. Is there any plan to give free smartphones to U.S. citizens that want them?
Should we not be tracking migrants who irregularly cross the border?
I'm asking if...
Or do you have an alternative suggestion for how they should be tracked?
I, unfortunately, have not been asked to make U.S. immigration policy. That's not
Today's your moment.
Well, it'd be great.
Oh my God.
If anybody that wanted a free phone and a free monthly plan could get one.
So that was his mistake, right? So you could tell that he was not prepared for her to get all, well, what would you do about it, back at him. But what he should have said in that moment, when she said, well, what would you do? How would you track them? He should have said, I would secure the border. And then let her respond to that. Instead of, I don't care about U.S. citizens getting a phone. That's not the issue. The issue is that they have no control over the border. And he totally missed that opportunity. And I was like, dang it.
I know. I wouldn't let them in to begin with, Jen. I mean, it's like, what is it? It's like 1.5 million. I don't even know the numbers. The numbers are so outrageous now. It's like, what is it? Like 500,000 a month or something are coming in. I think that's the numbers are so outrageous. They're like mind boggling now. It's Nobody cares about our sovereignty. Nobody cares about this country. I say nobody. Democrats don't care about this country. They don't care. They just don't. They want to destroy it. This is an invasion at this point. They don't give a shit. They just don't care. And so for her to like be snarky about it, I can't, like, screw you, Jen. It's like, you just don't even care about this country. It is not about people, you guys. This is not about like people coming in and making a difference. Okay. This is not about Republicans or conservatives not wanting immigrants to come in here and have a contribution or make a contribution on society. I am not anti-immigrant, and I know that you aren't either, because your parents are immigrants. Right. It's like it's not about us being anti-immigrant. It's about us being anti-illegal immigrant. I mean, and I don't know, what is the problem with us wanting people to follow the law? Why is that a bad thing now? Why are Democrats so anti-law and anti-America? What is that? I mean, are they so desperate to have people break laws so they can bend it, so they can take these people and be like, oh, they're going to be Democrat voters? They're so desperate for that because it's obvious that's what they're doing. Right? I mean, I'm assuming that's the end result, is that these people are going to be Democrat voters for them. Correct? Is that what they're doing?
I mean, I think that is a hope. I don't know that that's necessarily true anymore, because there's so many people who of Latin descent, Hispanic people now tend to be more conservative, because especially those who came here legally, they see what's happening and they're like, man, I waited in the line. Like, what?
Right.
This is completely unfair. These people are taking our jobs. They're taking our resources. They're a drain on the school systems. I mean, there's a million reasons why no one should want this kind of invasion. And yet I will say, because it's true, Democrats have been awful on this issue, but now there's 11 people, Democrats specifically, who are joining Republicans to say, hey, Joe Biden, can you not end Title 42 right now? The timing is really bad. Okay.
Yeah. And these are the people who were so, hell bent on putting in COVID restrictions, and they were all, COVID. And now it's just like, oh yeah, let's just let all these people come across the border. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they have COVID. It's fine. We don't need any stinking masks. We don't need any of that. It doesn't matter. It's like, that doesn't matter when you're an illegal immigrant. But then they got kids, tiny little kids in New York schools that are still wearing masks. What in the hell is going on? It's crazy. American citizens don't matter to Democrats. They simply don't matter. And I think that was the point that Peter Doocy was trying to make. He just didn't make it very well.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. It was just, he was flustered and not prepared for her level of snark. And I get it. I mean, I will always forgive Peter Doocy because he's the only one there that does his job right. But I was just like, oh, dang it. I mean, there was such an opportunity when she said, what would you do? I was like, oh, girl, don't get me started. And so I was disappointed that he made it about, Americans getting free phones. I was like, that's really not the point here. But anyway, that was that was the moment. And by the way, speaking of the kids that you just mentioned in New York City, Eric Adams now has COVID after he was like at some party, unmasked, living it up, doing all the things, having a great time. Yeah. He has COVID now, but I guarantee you that he's going to keep the kids masked and he'll continue to do whatever it is that he thinks. Yeah. And I guarantee you he was also vaccinated, right? Like 14 times. He had like 18 boosters and right? And he was out there going, you guys get your boosters, like Fauci, get your boosters, get your boosters. Man, oh my God. It was so funny on Twitter yesterday. There was a clip that was going around of Fauci saying essentially that, like, get your boosters and everybody needs to probably get masked again. And I was like, you know what? Maybe everybody should just finally stop listening to this maniacal little hobbit. You would not believe how many people came back at me and were mad that I was comparing him to hobbits, which are apparently the nice ones. And what I should have called him is an orc. It's like, can you guys just not quite take me that literally? Can you just understand that I was just calling him like a little creature person? It doesn't. Well, I mean, you did put maniacal in front of Hobbit, so it's like the Hobbit went full maniac. I mean, I think that you put maniac in front of it, so.
Yeah. It's funny what people will
get
get mad at
over
you
the
for.
dumbest
They
things,
do.
right?
They really get mad over stupid crap. Yeah.
Oh my God, that just absolutely cracked me up. Okay, before we get to Governor DeSantis, I did want to mention that people on the Twitter machine yesterday and elsewhere, I noticed yesterday, were very, very mad at Donald Trump. Very, very mad. Like some of his most ardent supporters. Very, very angry because Trump has endorsed Dr. Oz. And conservatives do not like Dr. Oz because Dr. Oz is not actually a conservative. He's very Lisa Murkowski-ish. He's very Mitt Romney-ish in his conservatism. And he's actually been pretty liberal on like a whole lot of things. And so people who normally look to Trump to, endorse good people were just really, really disappointed in Trump. And that's causing some problems, at least on social media right now for Trump. So anyway,
I guess, but he's a celebrity.
Right. Well, and they're probably super tight, right? Like they've probably been pals in reality TV world forever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know much about like I've seen him speak and I've seen him talk about certain issues, and he leans conservative on a lot of things. I just don't know. Like, I wonder what the issues are that he's not conservative about. That would be my
guns.
Mandates, so he's not
abortion. I mean, there's a lot lot of things that he he doesn't have a very good record on.
All right, so
I don't know that he's pro-choice, but I don't know because I've not dealt. He's running in Pennsylvania. He's not somebody that would be representing the state that I'm in. So I haven't paid a huge amount of attention, only to see that the video clips of him, from several years ago up to now that people are sharing are very, he's very like. He's just not conservative. And especially because there is a conservative running against him. It was just a surprise. It was just a disappointment to a lot of Trump supporters that he would do that.
Okay. The only thing I would say to that, and I'm not defending the guy. The only thing I would say is that if people are playing clips from like 10 years ago, people do change. They change. I mean, like I'm one of those people when it comes to pro-choice, pro-life. I used to be pro-choice and now I'm pro-life. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't know. He may be a pro-choice guy. And when it comes to 2A stuff, I mean, that if you're not 2A and you call yourself a conservative, what's wrong with you? Snap out of it, like, come on. But I mean, I can see how people can change. Like when they're younger, they can be idiots and they get older and they're like, I'm not an idiot anymore. Look at me. I've lived life. So, I mean, that happens. That to me, I think that's somewhat forgivable. I just don't know. I would need to look and see what his stance is on certain things. That's all I'm saying. And then we can move on. Yeah,
exactly. And I think, I mean, there are a lot of people who I do follow on Twitter, people that I like a lot and value their opinions have done the research into him.
Yeah.
And so when I read what they are saying about his record, I'm like, yikes, what are you doing, Trump? Like, why are you doing? Because one of the things that Trump was not particularly good at, and he was good at an awful lot, but one of the things that he wasn't particularly good at was picking good people to surround himself with, people that he could trust. I just don't know that I don't know that his endorsements actually carry as much weight as they used to, first of all, but also he's not necessarily great at choosing people all the time.
That's a good,
you know what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good, I mean, that's valid. It's a valid point.
Anyway. Okay, so now I've got just a little bit of Governor Ron DeSantis, because we talked last week also about Governor Abbott in Texas saying he's going to start busing people, these illegal migrants, to DC. And there were a couple people that actually reminded me of the fact that it was Governor Ron DeSantis who had that brilliant idea to begin with, talking about busing folks to Delaware, which is a sanctuary state. And so that's what this little clip is him talking about doing just that.
Businesses or contractors are dumping people who are illegal into Florida from southern Texas. We're going to go after their ability to do business in Florida. If Biden is dumping people, which he has dumped people. They fly them in at 2 in the morning. They haven't done it lately, but they did it many months ago. We now have money where we can reroute them to sanctuary states like Delaware, and we're going to do that to make sure that we're keeping them safe here.
I freaking love that. I just love it.
I love it too.
it.
And it does, listen, it wouldn't shock me if that was his idea and Governor Abbott was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to use it." I mean, seriously, would that shock anybody? Because I mean, listen, Governor Abbott's track record is not the best. That's why when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to start doing these," I mean, and also he's got a re-election coming up, and it's not like this. I mean, I'm not shocked by the fact that he's like, "I'm going to get tough on things because it's right in time for elections." I mean, this is duh. I mean, this is politics, baby. I mean, we know what happens with politics, but so it doesn't shock me if he actually took this idea from somebody with a giant set of balls, you know?
Right.
Right.
You guys, there is a great new special at PREPAREWITHTHECHICKS.com from My Patriot Supply, $150 off right now when you buy a 3-month emergency food kit. This is like the ultimate in disaster recovery, disaster preparedness. You want to have a food supply. That's one of the first things that you're going to need in the event of a total crisis or emergency. And we cannot discount the fact that there could be a crisis or emergency. So PREPAREWITHTHECHICKS.com. You get $150 off your 3-month emergency food kit. Highly recommend you stock up because I don't know how long this deal will last. That's a pretty good chunk of change off of the emergency food kits. PREPAREWITHTHECHICKS.com. Don't miss out on that.
And you know what? I've been seeing stuff like baby food shortages and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to do this, you guys. Like, I'm not trying to, amplify or just say or scare anybody, but I mean, I've been seeing weird stuff in the news that the news doesn't usually talk about. So I'm just putting that out there. Just as a side, Also, if you're not following us on Locals, do that. It's chicksontheright.locals.com. You should follow us today because free speech. We can talk about all the things. So do that. chicksontheright.locals.com. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to get to another quick Psaki clip because, as you know, there's a bunch of people in the White House getting all the Rona, right? Like it's going around. And now people are concerned. Is Joe Biden going to get it, even though he's been boosted 9,000 times? And so it's a concern. And it's one that the press pool brought up to Jen Psaki because apparently there were some photos floating around of Kamala Harris maskless indoors, which is against their current policy, especially when there's active cases kind of in the White House. So here is how Jen Psaki responded to this.
Tell you that the vice president has been wearing a mask inside. When there was a private greet, they were all wearing masks before they went up.
Wearing a mask yesterday at the Senate.
She was playing an important role in confirming or overseeing the confirmation of the first Black woman to the Supreme Court.
Oh, God.
So she was doing something important, you guys. That's why she wasn't masked.
Listen, it was about race. This was about race, Peter. So when race is part of it, COVID goes away. Don't you know? I mean, the COVID just
Can you believe that?
Away. There's a race shield. Don't you know? It's science. It's science. Peter, you idiot.
God.
Stupid white boy. God. I can't believe you didn't know that.
Somebody just asked, isn't she leaving? And I'm so glad you brought that up because yes, she is. The question is when. I don't know when this woman will finally get out of the White House, but everyone knows that she is going to MSNBC and apparently she's going to be hosting a show, which we talked about last week. People are upset. The president of NBC had to have like this giant phone call with everybody because there's some people worried about their brand, that Jen Psaki might be ruining their brand. And so Brian the potato, he had a panel on to discuss this very thing. And the level to which these people are bitching about Jen Psaki just made me laugh so hard. They're so like mean about her. Look at this.
still White House press secretary, but is expected to join MSNBC next month. She's going to have a show on the streaming service Peacock. And you heard that ruffled some feathers inside NBC News, inside the news division at NBC.
Yeah, it's definitely left, Brian, some people inside NBC News feeling very upset. They think that this might tarnish the NBC News brand.
Why?
Well, because Jen Psaki, I mean, there is a history of White House press secretaries going to news organizations, but in this case, there's no transition period from Jen Psaki leaving the White House podium and basically going directly to hosting a show on MSNBC. And this news broke while she's still White House press secretary. So you have like NBC News journalists who it's their job to basically be grilling a future colleague in the briefing room. And so it's an awkward dynamic. So this really did frustrate with NBC News staffers, and NBC News President Noah Oppenheim had to come out and have this impromptu phone call with them basically last week where he reassured them and kind of drew a distinction to some extent between MSNBC's liberal programming and what NBC News journalists do. And he basically said what they do is it should not affect your work. You should go out there and continue to work like usual.
I think this, first of all, I think she's very compelling television. I like listening to her. I think she's very good at commanding the room. I think she's going to be, a good TV personality.
Oh my
but I
God,
do think there's something very, very wrong about being at the podium in the White House, walking out, joining Comcast, presumably being paid millions of dollars to opine on Joe Biden. Like there should be a period of time where, you go off into industry and then you come back and perhaps then you go to TV. But this move seems too fast to me. But I do hear that they're working on something. Perhaps it is a bit of a break between the two jobs to, make sure there are less questions about the ethics.
Couple more.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So how much time will make it less awkward? Is it like too much? They're probably gonna say, well, let's give her a month and then that'll be enough time to make it. No, it's never not gonna be weird and awkward to see her like hosting her own show. She is just gonna be awkward no matter what. And furthermore, Brian Stelter is like an embarrassment to hot bald dudes. I happen to be married to a bald dude. And when I see Brian Stelter, I'm like, and I like bald dudes. That's my type. You know what I mean? Like I like hot bald dudes. And when I see him, I'm like, can you just not? To all the bald dudes out there, like I'm sure that he is like, he just makes you guys go, just don't.
Well, are you suggesting that Brian Stelter get a piece?
Yes. He needs to get a giant toupee, something that is more like something maybe grow a beard. He needs like all the hair. He needs so much hair because his baldness bothers me. Whereas baldness in general, I like it. But his baldness is off-putting to me. Very potato-y.
It is off-putting. Yeah, it is very potato-y indeed. Did you have a chance to listen to Jussie Smollett's new single?
No.
I listened to it in the car on the drive back, and
Why?
It's more like because I was curious. You know what I mean? I was just I saw the headlines about it, and I was like, I obviously need to listen to this. So it's just like his defiant response to everything that's happened to him. And it's basically like it's not even a song as much as it is sort of a poem set to kind of a beat. I don't know.
So does he like sing like Kesha?
Yeah.
Is that what he does? Like Kesha?
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it except that it's terrible and you shouldn't listen to it.
Are you gonna? Well, now you have to play. Can you play some of it?
Oh, I didn't even get it. It's not worth playing. I promise you, it's not. It's just I just wanted people to know that this is what he's trying to do to like come back, I guess, from. And he's still totally defiant and in denial. He's just like, why would I do this? That's like part of the lyrics. It's like, why would people think I would tarnish my own reputation? Why would they? I
can't believe that guy is not in jail for a long, long, long time. That's what's so asinine is that he's walking around and like everything. Like that's what's so crazy to me. Why is he not in jail?
He's walking around.
Yeah. We reward bad
but like
behavior.
to my husband's point, my husband was like, people like helped him do that. Like there was a production group of people who actually thought this is a good project for me to get involved with, and then they did.
Right. Yeah. Dumb people. Lots and lots of dumb people. Right.
Exactly. Also wanted to mention Elon Musk. We talked about last week and his giant ownership of Twitter. We thought he was going to be on the board of Twitter. That has been announced not to be the case. What's his name? What's the name of the president now? It's like
it's not Jack Dorsey anymore. It's some
Agrawal.
Yeah.
Parag Agrawal is the CEO right now.
He's not.
Anyway.
Yeah, because Jack Dorsey's like on his moss praying or something.
Right.
He's like,
he announced late last night that Elon has. What he said was Elon has decided not to join the board. I have sent a brief note to the company. I'm sharing it with you all here. This was on Twitter last night, and basically the statement is saying, the board and I had many discussions with Elon. We were super excited about him coming on, but we also were very clear about the risks. We've offered him the seat. And we announced that he would be, seated on the board, but he said that he will no longer be joining. And then the only thing that Elon Musk said about this on Twitter was that he posted a laughing emoji and then deleted it. And that's the extent to which he has commented on this. However, the folks at Daily Wire are reporting that now that he is not going to be on the board, he is now able to buy up as much Twitter stock as he wants. There's no cap at 15% because he won't be on the board. And that cap would have been associated with his seat on the board. So now there's all kinds of speculation. Oh my God, is he going to buy up more of it? What's going to happen? So
yes,
stuff right now.
Yes, he's going to buy up more of it. Hello, why wouldn't you if you were Elon Musk?
Well, yeah, I mean he's got all kinds of plans.
Yeah, I love the plans. Because listen, before I'm not telling the future or anything, but before he did this, he was talking about starting his own Twitter. Yeah. So why would he start his own Twitter and reinvent the wheel when he could just buy freaking Twitter? It's like, right? Why wouldn't he just do that? Because he's loaded. He's Elon freaking Musk. Why wouldn't he just do that? I would if I were him. I hope he goes in there and I hope he just does all the free speech things. And then just all the people that have been shut down, he's like, you are released. Release the hounds. It would be the greatest thing ever. I just love all of this. And I love how everybody's so butthurt about it. All these people, like people were talking about it on our insiders page over the weekend. And they were just like, oh my gosh, people are losing their minds. This guy is like crying over this. This guy's like, I mean, all these people are a bunch of pansies. I mean, they're just losing their minds. These are guys who are in charge. They're leaders. And they're like, oh, Elon Musk, yeah. He's like, he's coming to our sandbox and he's wanting to play with us and he took our ball. Oh. What a bunch of losers these guys are. Like,
they really are. Oh my God. Couple of celebrity tidbits. J-Lo, Ben Affleck engaged once again. And so
how does that work? Does he get a new ring? Can he use the old ring? I still don't understand how that works.
No, this is new. You do that? This is new.
What does she do with the old ring?
That's a great question.
What do you do? How does that work, you guys? Like, I feel like that's a lot of rings.
She's broken every rule about this because she's been engaged so many times. So I don't even know that they're adhering to any sort of norms when it comes to this. And so I don't know. And who knows when they're going to get married? They should just do it. Like immediately, because otherwise they're going to break up again and she will be a million times engaged and only a few times married.
They won't. She's going to have it's going to be like this drawn out engagement. She's going to have this ridiculous wedding. It's going to be over the top. They're going to televise it. She's going to take, everything is going to, it's going to be, seriously, it's probably going to be pay-per-viewed. She did her announcement where you had to like go to her like page where you paid and got paid access to see the announcement. Yeah.
No way.
It's on. Yeah. Cause I was like, oh, I'm interested. I want to see what the announcement looked like. Cause she's like, oh, you guys, I have big news. I have big news.
And you had to pay to see the news?
It was like she's like, it's personal. Like we all don't freaking know what it is. And she's like, it's personal. You can get access to my personal page if you pay a subscription fee. Like you had to pay to see what the announcement was. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, because I know you're engaged. I know what it is. You've been engaged 15 times. Of course that's what it is. It's not a shock to any of us. Hello? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, give me a break.
Well,
yeah.
You got an over-under on how long this round will last?
A year and a half.
From right now?
I'll say from the wedding.
Oh, okay. So you think they will actually go through with the wedding and stay together for a year and a half?
A year and a half. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then she'll get sick of his crap. He'll start drinking again.
Man, at some point she's got to realize that she is the common denominator in all of these failed relationships.
Yeah. He'll get sick of her crap. He'll get sick of her crap and start drinking again. That's probably what's more likely. Yeah.
Another little celebrity tidbit, which I just thought was interesting as I saw it on Daily Mail this morning. There were paparazzi photos of Al Pacino, who had just finished a dinner date with a 28-year-old girl. He is 81. I know. But wait, it gets even better. This is a specific 28-year-old girl whose exes include Mick Jagger and Clint Eastwood. So she got a type, this one.
Yeah, her type is a bank account, an old dude's bank account. She's like, Mick Jagger. She was like, oh shit. She dated Mick Jagger first, and she's like, oh shit, he's never gonna die. So crap, I gotta move on to Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood may die in like a couple of years. He's getting up there. And then she was like, maybe Al Pacino is like ripe to die pretty soon. She's definitely got a type. But Mick Jagger is gonna live forever. Hello, he's Mick Jagger.
But I mean,
yeah, that's gross.
That is a serious age difference.
That is a type, all right. She's gross. That's gross.
All right, it is time for My Pillow Talks. You guys do not forget that My Pillow still has their special on towels, $39.99 for a set of 6 glorious, thirsty, scrubby, awesome My Pillow towels when you use the link mypillow.com/chicks and then also use code chicks. You can get that discount on the towels, but then you can also get massive discounts on anything that you get from My Pillow, and all of their stuff is amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. And if you guys haven't joined Facebook Insiders, you should think about doing that, because Facebook Insider people are awesome. They will be your new BFFs. Yeah, so consider looking into that.
Do it. All right. It's interesting because you referenced earlier in this very live stream today, you referenced changing. You were pro-choice at one time, and you referenced changing to pro-life, and you were giving some grace to people who have had that transformation. And that's interesting because one of the talks that I have today is of a girl who was super lib, and she talks about her transformation to becoming a conservative. And I just thought it was a really interesting story. It's always really interesting to me, the issue that changes people, right? Like for you, it was abortion. And then like you started, there were a whole bunch of things that ultimately led you down that path. And then it's true for everybody. There's always usually like one thing that makes you think, wait a minute, have I been thinking about this the wrong way? That's exactly what happened to this gal. And I thought her story was really interesting. Listen.
Essentially challenging me and challenging my viewpoint. I appreciate it. It was a very warm welcome. I've gotten a couple of comments like this, kind of asking for my story. It's a long one, but let me try to sum it up really quickly. So I was a diehard liberal pretty much my whole life. So I was pro-choice. I hated Trump with a burning passion. Like, okay, this is fucking embarrassing. But I cried when he got elected. Yeah, it wasn't my finest fucking moment, but you know. So right after he got elected, I found out my husband actually had voted for Trump in 2016. And I was very upset, to say the least. And at the time, my husband didn't know a whole lot about politics. And I was like, how could you vote for somebody that you don't even know what's going on? So he decided to educate himself. And we started having a lot of political conversations. And through those conversations, we really hashed it out. I really appreciate him for essentially challenging me and challenging my viewpoints, because I wasn't doing that myself. And I realized very quickly that I couldn't back up any of my shit. And instead of realizing that I was wrong, I just tended to get angry. And I don't know, it was just a long process of that. It was a long process of, talking about things, challenging myself. I started listening to a lot of conservative people, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder. I hated Candace Owens. I fucking hated all of them so much. And then in 2019, I hit my tipping point with the whole when the Virginia abortion bill came up, and Ralph Northam said if a baby survived an abortion, they would make it comfortable and make a decision. And then that was the first bubble burst, because I literally heard that. I heard my husband brought it up, and I was like, that's not real. That can't be real. And then I went and watched the clips, and I said, whoa. I said, that's way too far. We can't be out here killing babies who have been born. And it took that bubble burst, that one bubble burst, and all the other bubbles just started popping. That's my only way I can really describe it. I was just locked in a group think. I was locked. Honestly, it's really a cult mindset. I feel now like I had essentially been brainwashed by the left and by the media. And then when I started actually looking into what Trump did during his presidency, as opposed to what the media said he did, I was like, oh shit. So I haven't.
So I thought that was just a really good example of a change of heart,
Yes,
that was
totally.
her bubble bursting. I love that analogy, really, that was the first bubble, and then all of a sudden everything started popping.
Totally. And we've seen that a couple times in being chicks on the right over the past 13 years of people like her, people that are kind of had epiphanies like her. I wish she would become part of our community, because she would fit right in.
Yeah,
totally would.
I know.
Right. I don't think she'd hate us. I don't think she'd hate us as much. Maybe at first a little, but then she'd be like, okay, these chicks are kind of cool. But yeah, I think she'd fit right in, because there are a lot of people who are sort of recovering liberals, I think, who tend to gravitate towards us. It's interesting how that works.
Yeah. This cat, I love the caption. It says, "Cat glitches out."
What is he doing? What is he doing?
I don't know, but it's just it's just a finger, kitty cat.
Oh my God. That is so funny. Oh my God.
Okay, then. Somebody sent this to me this morning.
Knuckles. Fucking cunt of a man, Mr. Stockman. I just fucking stuck my hand in there looking for my fucking head torch, and he grabbed me around the knuckles.
I don't know.
Fucking cunt of a man, Mr. Stockman. I just fucking stuck my hand in there looking for my fucking head torch, and he grabbed me around the knuckles.
Was it a bat? I can't see it.
Cunt of a man, Mr. Stockman.
It's just like a little.
I just fucking stuck my hand in there looking for my fucking head torch, and he grabbed me around the knuckles. Fucking cunt of a man, Mr. Stockman.
And you know what I love about it is that the first comment says, "Why does Australia have a random Pokemon in it?"
Oh my God, he does have a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon, you guys, in somebody's mailbox, and somebody's Australian mailbox. The Australian mailbox is kind of cool too. I need to get one of those mailboxes.
Oh,
that's really
there's
neat.
all kinds of guesses: wombat, sugar baby, Tasmanian devil, bat. There's so many guesses.
Sugar baby. I think a sugar baby is probably more likely than a Pokemon. Yeah.
A sugar. It's not a sugar glider. It's not one of those little glider guys.
It could be a sugar glider. It could be.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
The sugar gliders they look totally different. This one, I don't know what that is, but it's cute. I would pet. 10 out of 10 would pet.
Oh my God, she'd totally get bit and get rabies, you guys. She'd be like, "Oh no, you're in my mail. Oh God," and then she'd get bit, and then it would be, it'd be awful. She'd get 20 rabies shots in her butt. It'd be terrible.
Anyway, those are your talks for today.
Good talks. Good back to school, back to work talks. Those are good. Solid.
That's right.
Solid talks, you guys. Everybody, it's Monday. How are we feeling?
Good.
Feeling good? Everybody bring it in. Bring it in. It's going to be a good day, you guys. It's going to be a good day. We've got lots of stuff going on. Don't forget that Dave Rubin deep dive we got tomorrow. It's coming out. So excited about that today. Lots of stuff going on this week. Lots of stuff. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.